Thank you to our DTM Alicia for the table topic session. Now we will proceed with our project speech session.
All right, thank you, TME. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So Toastmaster Mufaro, the purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. Back to Toastmaster of the evening.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Toastmaster Mufaro, and I'll be sharing with you my interesting scientific speech. I know that most of you have heard a lot about African history, and I'll be sharing with you a recent finding that I found particularly interesting about African history. So my speech will be on an old yet still relevant happening, which was titled The Great Invention of Penicillin and the Tuskegee Experiment. I came along this finding one day when I was binge watching one of my favorite shows on YouTube. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to take you through the happening of the Tuskegee Experiment and the invention of the antibiotic called penicillin. Many years ago in the United States of America, there was a huge breakthrough in the medical industry. So scientists were working tirelessly to find a cure for a disease called syphilis, which later became the famous antibiotic penicillin as we know it today. So they did find a cure, which was penicillin. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a fantastic breakthrough in the history of medicine, I would say. But let us see what gave rise to the breaking news of this Tuskegee experiment. The Tuskegee experiment was a Tuskegee study on untreated syphilis on a group of 400 African American men with syphilis. And this happened between the year of 1932 to 1972 and was conducted by the United States Public Health Service. So this study went on for a full 40 years. The participants were offered some incentive as a result of agreeing to participate in this study. And let's not forget what I just mentioned. This was a study done for 400 African American men with syphilis. So during the study, these men were provided with good shelter, with good medical benefits, with good food. And looking at the history, back in 1932, that was the era of the slave trade. So obviously they would jump to such an opportunity of getting free medical treatment. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll now take you to the breaking news. As the study progressed, a lot of biasness started happening throughout the study experiment. These 400 men were hidden from the true invention of penicillin. They were not told that they would not be getting any treatment from this groundbreaking invention of penicillin. Instead, the investment went on for 10 years without them getting any treatment at all. So fellow Toastmasters, I'd like to fast forward you to 1947. I'll take you now to the great invention of what happened during the study. By 1947, this antibiotic called penicillin was now widely available for anyone to use it, whether a person of color or any other normal person. This invention of penicillin was done by a fantastic researcher called Sir Alexander Fleming, who was a Scottish researcher. And this study was completed in 1928. According to the tabloids of those days, penicillin was seen as an accidental discovery that actually changed the course of medicine. And it was now used to treat symptoms like throat infections, meningitis, and syphilis. So yes, syphilis could be treated with penicillin. A great invention for sure. So I'll take you back to the Tuskegee experiment. So as the study progressed, the men were initially told that the study would go only for 6 months. But the study went on for 40 years. Unfortunately, along the way, the study did lose its funding, which meant that the study was supposed to be concluded. But according to research, the study went on for another 20 years. And these participants were not informed that the study had lost its funding. Shockingly, none of the infected men were even given penicillin to cure their symptoms. Fellow Toastmasters, this is the bittersweet story of the invention of such an amazing drug called penicillin. According to researchers, it says that a total of 100 participants were reported to have died from complications caused by syphilis, which could have been avoided by penicillin. These also went on to infect their wives. Around 40 of them were infected by syphilis. The study was later shut down because of the inhuman treatment that was given to these participants. Fellow Toastmasters, this was recorded as one of the biggest failures in the history of medical research in the United States. However, penicillin, even until today, it has been recorded as one of the most used antibiotic to date. But it is sadly settled with a tragic event in the history of this Tuskegee experiment. But let us focus on the positive, shall we? So in conclusion, fellow Toastmasters, the invention of penicillin has become a wide area for potential researchers. However, this is the sad evolution of this drug. A great invention in history, yet a sad story to those who were involved in the invention. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. I hope you learned a lot on the invention of penicillin and the Tuskegee experience. Thank you.
Part where we are going to have Mufaro's speech evaluated. Jaya, can you please give us the evaluation for Ms. Mufaro, please, on her speech?
Yes, thank you, our general evaluator. Just a minute. All right, Toastmaster Mufaro, just to confirm, can you hear me?
No, I can't clear? See you though. Can we have the webcam on, please? Is it okay?
I just worried if my Wi-Fi doesn't work properly with the
Okay, then it's okay. Switch it off. Fine,
okay.
No
all right, sorry for that. All right, so Toastmaster Mufaro, you have amazingly done your research and presenting speech today with the title of The Great Invention of Penicillin and the Tuskegee Experiment. So as a whole, this is a new topic. I have zero knowledge about this area. So from your speech just now, I could see that you have shared the history, the good side, and also the bad side of the penicillin and how the Tuskegee experiment involved in it and what is the impact and everything. So that's something good from the speech. So what I'm suggesting you for the improvement, or maybe you can bring this speech to a different level, is that the first thing is I noticed that you have quite a lot of numbers in your speech. Like you have timeline, like you have years stating that in this year, this incident happened, and in another year, there's another incident happened. And maybe what I could suggest is when you are showing the number instead of saying that could reach the audience way better. So what I'm trying to say is maybe you can put up a slide or screen showing the numbers. Like you show the number, how big it is. When I say it's like a 1 million, you will not feel it. If you show that 1 million with the number of zeros you have, so it will give an impact to the audience. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is that your eye movement. I can see that you moved your eye down and up. So maybe you can, if you're referring to any reference material or if you're referring to any sort of script, you can maybe bring it a little up, which is near to your cam. So your eye movement will not be very obvious. And that's the two things that I would like to suggest you for the improvement. So as a whole, I love the structure of the speech. I believe you have structured this speech in a topical structure where you have the history and then you go to the good side of it and then you go to the how it affected the committee or the community in a wrong way. So that's the wholesome of it. So I hope the little suggestion and improvement for your betterment really helps you. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you very much. For the project speaker, Mufaro, I noticed that that you were being evaluated by Jaya, and I noticed that she had done her best to evaluate you, and I think she's having a bad network connection. Usually, as a project evaluator, I like cameras turned on, so at least you can look at the person looking at it, so it doesn't look so intimidating. You know, already my evaluator is not looking at me. I didn't do a good job. So sometimes you need to understand. If you can turn on the camera, it helps. But like I said, it is the thing. Mufaro, I noticed towards your whole speech, today your speech, I noticed there were a lot of things about it missing. Because I have seen you speak. Something was missing here today. Do you know what it is? Mufaro? Mufaro? Yes! That's it. We found it now. You didn't smile at all. Toward the whole speech, all of you were not smiling here. That means, from the beginning of the meeting until now, none of you were actually smiling. I don't know what happened. I think I should bring laughing gas for all of you. No, so serious. The tone of the speech. I get the idea. Yeah, the research part. And what I really like, Jaya, is you mentioned that you could have used some visual aids on the slide. That was a very good suggestion. What I would like you to also look at, Mufaro, here is, I know how you speak. So I want you to inject vocal variety in your speech. Okay? So have it more lively. So because your tone was just very flat today, if you ask me. And I know how you speak. Today it was very flat for me. So the topic that you're using is a very heavy, very heavy topic, talking about this. So try to lighten it up a bit, because a lot of us, I think, are not really aware of this experiment. So basically, you have to take us slow, get us into it, and then explain the facts, and then how it is. Because towards the ending of the speech, I think you were very rushed. I think you saw our timer show the yellow light and say, "Oh no, my time is up. I better stop." Okay. So, like I said, it's okay. If you're going to take 8 minutes to finish it today, take 8 minutes to finish it. It's okay. That's the only way you learn. And if you cut short suddenly, it's very abruptly ended. So I know it's abruptly ended. And I think you know it's abruptly ended as well. Okay?
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. Okay? All right?